welcome to Medical Dialogues, your daily dose of health and medical news. I'm Roshni Dhar. Let's look at today's top headlines. Breach of duty in providing medical advice. Consumer Court directs nephrologist hospital to pay rupees 3 lakh compensation. Observing that active systematic infections are potential reasons for excluding transplant recipients, the Telangana State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission recently directed a nephrologist to pay rupees 3 lakh to the parents of a deceased patient suffering from Vesicoureteral Reflux Nephropathy. Such a direction came from the State Consumer Court as it opined that the advice of the treating doctor for a kidney transplant was lacking in strength, and as the patient was very vulnerable and indications that he was not a candidate for transplant surgery are not ruled out, such an advice of transplant was wrong. In the instant case, we find a conspicuous breach of the duty in providing the medical advice, opined the Commission. The case concerned the complainant's son, who was diagnosed with kidney problem when he was only 14 years old. At that time, the patient was taken to the chief nephrologist at a lakh-based hospital, and since then he had been under the doctor's treatment. After the doctor joined the hospital at Lakh back in 2011, the complainants were advised bilateral nephrectomy and renal transplantation for the son. The first surgery was performed back in August 2011, and the second nephrectomy for the right kidney was performed a few days later. The complainants have submitted before the Commission that performing two separate surgeries had caused great stress and complications to their son, and the treating doctor did not assess the condition of the patient and the location of the kidneys before subjecting him to two separate procedures. The specialist surgeon involved in the treatment of the patient also submitted that the treatment given to the patient was a team effort and the best possible treatment had been provided to the patient for saving his life. At this outset, the Commission also referred to the conditions that preclude a patient from the undergoing kidney transplant procedure. They include active or chronic untreated infections, a urinary tract that is not intact or functional, and lacks a viable urine diversion, etc. Active systematic infections are potential reasons of excluding transplant recipients, opined the Commission, and noted, in this case, the patient underwent BL nephrectomy 3 months prior to the transplant procedure. A nephrectomy simultaneous to kidney transplantation would have reduced the total number of procedures. The patient was very vulnerable, and indications that he is not a candidate for transplant surgery are not ruled out. Holding the doctor liable for the acts of omission and the hospital vicariously liable for the acts of negligence and the deficiency committed by the doctor, the Consumer Court directed the nephrologist and the hospital to award a sum of rupees 3 lakhs as compensation with a view to provide modicum of comfort to the parents within 6 weeks. That's all for today. Thank you.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.